Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, host of the Pete Kane Podcast Show. I laugh every time I see it, hear it. Okay, now the four human drivers, and I'm coming back to social media after being off for over 3 years with boundaries. So let me explain. Okay, let's go into the human drivers, and you'll kind of connect with why I jumped off social media for over 3 years. All right, let me see if I can bring up the human drivers. There we go. Aliveness is number one. Aliveness. The challenging thing that we're faced today is we scroll and make judgments over 1,000 times a day. So we're zapping, we're judging, and all you have to do is look around in what's going on in the world. People are at each other's throats because they have not enjoyed one of the four human drives, aliveness. When you have aliveness, you're not judging. You got to give people grace. If they believe differently than you do, fine. It's their choice. And you don't have to want your beliefs on them, but we do. So if we can focus on the four human drives through all this change, through what has happened in social media over the last 10 plus years, and we're not scrolling, which is consuming other people's lives for up to 3 hours a day, then we get back to creating. Creating. We're born to create. We're not born to consume. When you consume other people's lives, you don't live your life. So you're not alive in that. I have felt so good being off social media for over 3 years. Now, I started out when social media started out doing social media. My oldest daughter used to tell me, like, yeah, Dad, you like people, you like hanging out. You ought to get on Facebook. I went, that's for college kids. No, thanks. Then when I changed the way I thought and I started opened up an account, whatever, I connected immediately with family out of town, nephews, nieces, brothers, sisters, friends, because I had been removed from a town I'd lived for 20 plus years in Richmond. For so long, I didn't know what was going on because, out of sight, out of mind, just being disconnected in that way. So I thought it was really cool. So that was kind of the good thing. But what happens is we go from good to addiction. And your addiction is your scrolling, consuming other people's lives. You always have to think, create your life. Because when you create your life, you come alive. You come alive like you will never understand until you do it. Now, I did it to let my brain heal. So after a stroke, your brain has to go through a major rebuilding, rewiring. And if you're not giving your brain a break, you're not going to recover. So I went in it with that mindset, but I didn't realize the benefits of not being part of the judgment, not being part of consuming. And I started to create. I started to create a life that I hadn't experienced. Those connections, which is number 2, became more fulfilling because talking to people is a whole lot different than texting people or emailing people. I talk to people practically every day. Call them on the phone. What are you working on that's exciting this week? How could I help support you? How could I introduce you to somebody you want to meet? Talk to people, connect to people, create value in relationships. We've got so disconnected because of the social media. We hide behind Texas. We hide behind social media. We scroll. We consume other people's lives. You got to live your life. And that involves creating connections, creating whatever you're doing, but create. The magical fulfillment of your heart and joy is talking and being present and investing in people. So when you look at your life, are you consuming? Are you creating? That's how you have to have that self-reflection, because if you do, you can go, yeah, I've been kind of consuming too many hours of TV, up to 4 hours. When you look at that with up to 3 hours social media scrolling, almost 7 hours, well, that is 7 hours, and you're awake 18, how much time are you investing in consuming other people's lives? Shift to creating your life, because the third meaningful pursuit is the third human driver. When you think about vision, mission, impact, how are you going to serve? Who are you going to serve? How are you going to make a difference in the life that you lead? Nobody makes it out of this life alive. Nobody makes it out of this life alive. We have a short time on earth. I'm going to my 50th high school reunion. I can remember yesterday picking up range ball. The story for another day. On graduation night, because I didn't pass English. They didn't give me a trophy for showing up. You didn't pass, so you don't get to participate in the celebration. Although hard, but it's true. It made a difference in the lesson. You have to show up and perform. Nothing's given to you in life. Nothing. You got to earn it. And so when you look at meaningful pursuit, what is your vision? What is your pursuit? How does it, what's the meaning behind showing up, connecting with people? The meaningful about being alive. I gave up so many things after my stroke. Coffee, sugar, alcohol, social media. I could keep going on and on. I started all of them 30 days because I feel I didn't give up drugs. Now, these are illegal drugs, but they still were drugs until I crashed. And crashing is not a good thing. When you're addicted, like I was, the first thing you thought of was get that pill in you. It's time to do something about it, because you're not living a meaningful pursuit if you're depending on an artificial high. So many times we don't have that big vision. So many times we retire. We don't have a purpose after we retire. And then the stats support it. We die 2 years after retiring. Not because our health has gone down, although it can, because we don't reestablish a purpose in our life. Meaningful pursuit of purpose. Doesn't have to be a grandiose thing, but show up present, alive. Make those human connections. We're coming into the most rapid change in our lifetime. And if you're not prepared for that change, you're going to wake up one day and the world will have passed you by. Human connections, human drives. No matter what goes on, there's still 4 human drives. When you think about aliveness, as AI just transforms the world we live in, it's going to be important that you be around people, that you connect to people, that you create your life. Because if you're going to consume, as we get into more and more AI, it's going to know what you like. It's going to give it to you. And it's going to lull you in. And you don't want to be lulled in to a life of consumption. You want to create. So use AI to create your life. Create a better life. I use it for about 80%. Having failed English, writing was not my thing. I misspell every other word, more than 3 letters. And so I know what it's like to have that challenging nature of writing. However, we can overcome anything. The magic is you and anything's possible. So even though dyslexic and ADD, active brain, kind of a reverse, it's crazy, was not my superpower till the last 3 years, because I realized I could use it to bring that meaningful pursuit, to make those connections, to be alive, to grow. I grew into personal development because after my stroke, 49 days thinking on your back, not moving, not eating, not going to the bathroom, not showering by yourself. No, that doesn't sound right. But you're not doing anything by yourself. You're learning how to do everything again, how to walk, how to talk, how to eat, how to experience a new life that involved only half your body. And when one half drops, the other half gets affected, because plumbing requires both halves. When one half ain't working, half the pipes aren't working, the whole system's messed up. So you can read into that. I won't go into that this time because it's one of those subjects. I just leave it to the imagination, however you want to take it. But personal development, number 4. If you're not growing, you're dying. You reestablish your purpose after you retire. You come alive again. You make those connections, because isolation is a kiss of death. We want, because we feel so bad, we've lost our purpose, and we retract. We go back. And instead of that expanding, repack your bags, as my friend Jeff said in Rotary. He retired as an engineer, and he read the book Repack. And it's basically, okay, I've lived this life. I've done this career. I've raised this family. Now, what's the next chapter going to look like? What am I interested in? What kind of purpose do I have? How am I going to bring my retirement into living, connecting, having a pursuit, and growing? We grow, and this is what happened. I'm going to put this up on the screen because it was about maybe a year. I'm on my own. I'm doing some things I've never done before, giving up alcohol, giving up coffee, giving up sugar, giving up things, I would just challenge myself. Challenge. Can I do it? Can I expand something I never thought I could? So I kept working that muscle, and I kept working it and working it. It got stronger. And as it got stronger, I realized that I want to continue this journey. So I was on a podcast. Of course, I was a podcaster because I had to give up my digital business and I had to pursue a different. And my partner, Jeff, said, "Hey, you like golf? Do golf podcasting." I said, "Oh, no." He said, "Do golf and do podcasting, and you like golf." So I said, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." So I was doing foursomes that it was just like learning, figuring out, forgetting people. I was doing threesomes, but there was 4 people there. Hey, you forgot to ask Joe. That, of course, oh, yeah, okay. And so I worked through it, but I wasn't playing. So I didn't have the same kind of emotional connection to the game. So then I was in a senior facility, 55 and older, but it was a little bit north of 55, let's say 80. So I'm here, new environment, around people that are a little older, learning, but I did learn a couple lessons. Life is precious. Without purpose, you go downhill. Doesn't matter whether you're 8 or 80, you still need purpose. You still need a meaningful pursuit. Whatever it is, could be grandkids, which is a beautiful one. I go on dates with my 3 oldest every month. We do something different. Go to lunch, go to Starbucks. We go and do an activity. We spend time together. And it's a beautiful thing, filling the heart up and exploding it every time. And I tell you this to say that a year after my stroke, I'm trying to figure out what is life going to look like. And I stumbled on a podcast, Ed Milet and Brendon Burchard. And I had heard Brendon speak in San Francisco 10, 12 years before that. I was amazed at this guy. He just brought down the house. And I had been at Tony Robbins, and, he's still great. But it wasn't the same person for me. I'm not a walk on hot coals and things, but he's done some great things. But Brendon just connected. But I lost track over 10, 12 years. So he mentions Growth Day. And I went, dang, that sounds cool. You mean there's an app? There's a Netflix for personal development? You mean I could grow? So I signed up. And I did. Then I upgraded to all the other programs, the mastery paths. Then I hired a coach, high performance coach. And I got incredible results the first 12 weeks. Then I hired another one with a PhD in human behavior. And he rocked my socks. And I did again another quarter with him. So 6 months of high performance coaching, 3 months before that, 9 months. And I had another one. There was a TED Talk because I want to speak. I love to speak. I never did, but I found joy in it. I found a new aliveness. I found a new connection. I found a new pursuit to impact the world. But can't do it one-on-one. You got to do it one-on-many. So creating courses, speaking, coaching. Then I became a high certified coach. Whew. That first session, it was like I'd never graduated from anything. Missed the 8th grade thing. Of course, missed the high school thing. Made 2 attempts at Virginia Tech. Man, it was brutal. Came back with my head between my legs, humbled, and like, man, this ain't going to work because I couldn't spell, couldn't write, couldn't. I had some of these things because of dyslexia was holding me and I couldn't figure it out. It was well before voice to text. I do everything voice to text now. Everything. I wear out the A word and the S word on the different platforms. I won't say them because they'll come on. Set my timers today by the A word. Always talking and texting. Always, when I do, always creating through the voice versus writing. I tell you this to share with you on this, that when you grow, aliveness comes back. The connections to people. I'm fully present every single moment I can because it's a decision. Do you show up to listen, to learn, to connect, to bring aliveness to you? That self-awareness that we reluctantly stay away from is what helps us grow. And when we grow through personal growth, self-examination, we learn that, hey, there's a path of personal development. So when I started investing in personal growth, I started growing very rapidly. Then I had an opportunity through my partner to hire a young lady in the Philippines. So I started outsourcing the things I wasn't very good at. So the only thing I started to do was 3 things: podcasting, creating courses, and coaching. I did what I love to do. And it filled me up. It gave me an aliveness that I never had. It gave me an excitement of creating through my superpowers the 3 things that I focus on. All the things that used to slow me down, get stuck, were now not there. I wasn't on the busy bus. I wasn't getting distracted. I wasn't getting off course. I was focused like I've never focused in my life. I was on the purpose plane, quiet, one destination, knowing where I'm going to go, growing in all the areas. Because inside of Growth Day, and if you go to pkane.me/growth day, you'll be able to try it for 7 days. It's Brendon Burchard, the best in the world. Nobody's close. Now, everybody likes who they like. That's why in Growth Day, 4 out of 5 of the top people in the world are in Growth Day. So you get different perspectives. It's kind of like, you like Tony Robbins? Good. You have Tony Robbins. You like Brendon Burchard? Good. You have Brendon Burchard. You like Ed Mylett? Good. You have Ed Mylett. You like Anthony Trucks? Good. You have Anthony Trucks. You like Jamie Lee Jamie, oh, she's, I get all these names mixed up. But these people pour it into you because you get 8 or more perspectives of a topic. So you connect with the people you like that really fit you, that you can see yourself in them, and you learn and you grow and you keep growing and you keep growing and you keep growing. When you do that, you come alive. You make those connections more meaningful. You have a pursuit that's different than most. I don't even hardly check my email. Sometimes it's days, but I definitely don't do it in the morning. My first thing I do in the morning is think. Then I journal. Then I plan. And then I implement. So I think, journal, plan, implement every single day. You saw my planner? You go, man, that looks like a lot of work. Yeah, it is. But I get so much done because I know where I'm going. I make those connections meaningful. I bring that awareness, that aliveness to me. And so if you're not taking care of you, how can you take care of anybody else? You know, the analogy, you're on an airplane and the flight attendant's going, okay, let me go through the normal safety things. And when that oxygen mask drops, put it on yourself first, then the person beside you. There's a reason. If you're not healthy, how can you help the person beside you? We want to take care of others before we take care of our own needs. If you're not healthy, you can't help anybody else. So many people I see in the serving community neglect this. When you neglect this, we only get one body. Now, a lot of us are getting things repaired, a new knee, a new, what do you call it, hip, a new shoulder. All these places, all these parts are being replaced because they do wear out. You get older, they wear out. But you put a new one on, you put a new stent in there, and you got more energy. So we're advancing pretty quickly. I heard somebody say, I don't remember who it was, stay alive for the next 10 years because our ability to live longer will be more of a reality because we're solving problems quickly. We're figuring out things faster with AI. So do what you can to stay healthy. Work out. See my friend Crystal Duke and get that health as your priority. Because if you're not taking care of number one body, everybody has all these goals. When our health declines, we have one goal to get healthy. You don't want to wait till you have to. You want to be more preventive. Do the things, energize your body. I go to the gym 4 days a week. I spend up to 3 to 4 hours at PT and OT 3.5 years later, from 3.5 years past my stroke. Look, this is so much better in the last 6 months. I mean, lots, like a foot. That's PT Solutions in Eckworth. That's Kara Martin. That's Ashlyn putting me through the paces. When my friend Terry Eckhart, I was walking after dinner and I was zigzagging like I would get in high school when I was running from the police several times. But this time I wasn't being chased. I was naturally zigzagging. And I called Crystal and I said, man, I just don't think I'm getting better. Been doing this for 5-6 months and I'm worn out at night because I'm thinking about every step. And she says, I don't know about neuro, but I'll make some phone calls. And she did. And she called a friend of hers and she called me back and she said, no, the walking is not going to improve. You got to build your core and you got to get back to PT. Go to a neuro, and your intensity is going to matter. You got to work hard because you're rewiring that brain. So I called my friend Terry and I said, okay, tell me about Kara. I had thought, because he had been telling me about Kara for 2-3 years, and his daughter worked for PT Solutions. So I thought, he's biased. He's just trying to help his daughter, which we always would. So I discounted it. And I said, tell me more about Kara. And he did. I don't even think it was a 5-second conversation. I said, do you think you could get me hooked up with her? And he did. And I started back into PT. And I asked Kara, what's the one thing I need to focus on? She says intensity. Same thing Crystal had said. So I went at it intense. I was sweating. Previous PTs, it was like I was on vacation. Wasn't even breaking a sweat. But man, when you're hitting those barbells up and you're punching and you're doing leg, they put you through the paces. I am worn out. And I'm thankful that I listened to my friend. And that's kind of a lesson is, we prejudge things. We have a closed mindset. Crystal had given me a book on mindset by Carol Dweck, Fixed versus Growth. And there were so many times I had that fixed mindset. Even when I joined Rotary, man, I had a fixed mindset about a thought in my mind. And I was about to not join because of it. Because I didn't ask the questions. I didn't go and probe. I just judged like we do on social media 1,000 times a day. We wonder why we're worn out. Well, we're worn out because we've absolutely made 1,000 judgments every day. And our brain is fatigued, which affects your physical presence too. So having that book, Mindset, opened up my mind to thinking, is there somewhere I'm not seeing the obvious? Because sometimes the obvious when I had a stroke was call 911, but I didn't. So I lost 20, 25 minutes. Subject for another day. But when you're having a stroke, you got to get to the hospital quick. You can't play around. Call 911. Don't think, it's not that bad. Call. You will be thankful. So back to personal growth. Our ability to be alive, to make those connections, meaningful pursuit, and grow are your 4 human drivers. Now, connect with us. Connect with us at petekane.me/connect. Because I'm coming back to social media with boundaries. I won't be scrolling 3 hours a day. I can assure you that I have actually enjoyed. I enjoyed not drinking. My brain is much better. Not that I was a big drinker, but I had done some pretty crazy things, and they were all alcohol related. So I said, you know what? It's not honoring my comeback. It's not honoring me feeling good because the alcohol goes right to the brain. Right to the brain. I was thinking liver. Yeah, it does, but the brain. You got to protect that thing. This is powerful. Protect it. That's why you got to eat healthier. Vegetables first, like my glucose goddess or queen or something. I don't remember her name, but I now eat my vegetables first. It prevents the spikes in glucose. No idea. But when I went to a concierge doctor and we were talking about the wellness part, there was a Dr. Peter Attias with Outlive. No, it's a big, thick book, but that one, and then Glucose Diet, Glucose Goddess, Glucose something. Those 2 books made an impact on me and how I made priority, how I changed, how I grew, how I kind of looked at eating differently. Vegetables first. I eat more guacamole cups from Costco than most. I get them every time. I eat them every single start of the meal. And it helps the energy. We are generating energy. We generate energy. And if we're not conscious of how we fuel the energy plant, we can't generate it. So vegetables first, got a little bit off the key there. But the fact is boundaries. I've gone through so many. I've got the book Boundaries. I've been Growth Day Boundaries. I've gone to a physical class Boundaries to get an idea. Being a people pleaser, you neglect yourself. Always pleasing others instead of feeding yourself. You have to feed yourself. The magic is in you and anything's possible. But if you don't fuel yourself, you can't. help others. You first, then help others. You first, then help others. So, aliveness, connection, meaningful pursuit, and growth. Connect with us. We'd love to help you because I want to give you a gift. My gift is our ecosystem, which is our masterclass. That is go to petekane.me/masterclass. This is streaming over on my Facebook page, personal page. I'm not going to do this very often. Maybe, I don't know exactly, but I'm back with boundaries on social media. Boundaries. I won't be scrolling. I'll be creating courses. So we'll get the masterclass first because that'll show you a whole lot. But connect with us. So over on Facebook, the business one, I'll be creating content there. Substack, I'll be creating content there. My podcast will be on YouTube first, then Spotify, so you can see it there. We have several podcasts because we have a podcast academy. We want to teach you aliveness because our formula is pretty simple. Podcasting, creating online courses, and coaching, high performance coaching. It's a different level, and Growth Day will help you in that journey because you commit to growing personally every single day. We call it the 5 to Thrive. You'll get aliveness. You'll get that mindset, that growth mindset. You'll create a kinder person that's inside of you but hasn't been activated. So all we do is podcast, create courses, and implement high-performance coaching. So if you're like, you know what? I need some clarity. Okay, schedule a strategy session with us. Go to petekane.me, schedule it. I'll spend an hour with you. It'll be the best hour you'll ever spend in your life. Nothing, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm going to give it to you complimentary. Well, I'll show you the advantages of coaching. I will challenge you. We'll look at your life. We'll start getting that clarity. And then if you want to continue the journey, you have an option. You can start from $9 a month all the way up to $2,000. You choose. Wherever you start, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. I don't care where you start, but start. Now, this year and beyond is the most exciting times right now that we'll ever be in our lifetime. So be clear about where you're going. Have that aliveness. Make those connections. Have meaningful purpose. And grow. Personally grow. Okay, so schedule something. Come on. You feel like, oh man, that might be tough because I gotta answer some tough questions. Be bold, make an impact, and have fun. Be bold, make an impact, and have fun. Schedule your time to get clear in your life because you want to get back to the 4 human drivers. And that's aliveness, connection, meaningful pursuit, and growing personally. Because we teach our people about the key persons of influence. We teach people about 7-11-4. And if you want to search that, you'll understand what it means. It simply means that people have to consume 7 hours of you to make that digital shift in their brain. They have to 11 buying signals, saying 11 times, I'm interested. And when you go on that journey, you got to see it in 4 different platforms. And they might read your book, they might listen to your podcast, but they're getting to know you because we're in the digital revolution. So people, I meet you, I'm going to Google you. I'm going to search you online. There's many ways to find you. I might look you up on YouTube. I might buy your book. I might do things to get to know you. But once I do, and I go through the 7-11-4, click, You've now connected with that person digitally. You're now in your circle of friends. We have filters that if you're not in that circle, we filter it out. But if you are, we listen. We're interested more. So you have to give people reasons to continue the journey with you. That will help. And you know what? I got a podcast in just a little bit. So let's wind her down. Okay, what did I give you? Gave you a masterclass. You can connect with us at pk.me/connect. You want to start growing? Well, grow with us because it's the fourth human driver. Personal growth. Make it a daily thing. Make it rewiring your brain because we have 12 to 60,000 thoughts going through this brain. And if you're replaying all the negative things that have happened in your life, you're not replaying the possibilities. You're not envisioning a bigger future. And so when you're not doing that, you're going backwards. You got to go forward. So get PeteKane.me/growth day. Try it for 7 days. Try it. You may make that change that you'll look back like I did and say it's the best thing I ever did, personally and professionally. Didn't see it when I started, but wow, what a difference it has made. I live with aliveness. I live every single day like it's my last. Every single day like it's my last. One of these days I'm going to be right, but until then, I'm going to live it with presence. I'm going to make those connections. I'm going to have a pursuit of meaning. I'm going to grow personally. And when you do that, the four human drivers, because we're going through that rapid change, go through it with a better self, a future self that can handle all this change that's going to happen. Because when you go into the masterclass, my partner Jeff has an AI agency. You can get a free course. You got to learn how to use it, but it's just a tool, a powerful one. It's going to change the world. So don't wait. Do it now. We can't afford to wait. The world is going to be moving so rapidly. You have to say, I want to do it now. So schedule that strategy session. Go to PeteKane.me PeteKane.me. That's all you got to do. And if you'd like to be a guest on my podcast, love to have you. Love to learn. Love to get to know you. That's what we do. Podcasting, creating online courses, and coaching the high performance way. CHPC, I'm a certified high performance coach. We have a coach on later today, a wonderful woman who I met at certification last week. I met her the previous year. Just finished almost 30 hours of certification. Man, that's intense. But it's because we want to deliver to you meaningful change, transformation. Personal growth is a daily thing. Start working on yourself. You get healthy, you get alive, you learn those connections, and you have a bigger vision of your life. And so you have meaningful pursuit of your future self. Wow, watch out. And then commit to personal development. You got the winning combination. So get some clarity. Define your identity. Set intentions for interactions and focus on what matters most. We have a course on that. And so join us, connect with us. Go to PeteKane.me/connect. Woo! Okay. Be bold, make a difference, and have fun.